Everybody, and welcome back to my channel for this Sunday morning, afternoon or evening across the world where you may be at. And I want to start this video by saying happy Easter, happy Ramadan, happy holidays to everybody that celebrates Easter or likes to celebrate Easter holidays. I know for a lot of disabled and autistic people it can be a really overwhelming time of socialisation, being with family, being with friends, or if you're at work, being with your work colleagues. And it can be a quite overwhelming time of bright colours, smells, tastes, sounds, people. And I want to talk to you about how you can support them during this Easter period, Easter holiday season. So yeah, let's get into it. The holiday season can be very overwhelming for people with autism or disabilities during the Easter holiday season, or those who are suspected to be on the autism spectrum. This includes being things like the Easter egg packaging, which are brightly coloured, brightly labelled and bright boxes. This can overwhelm their senses and lead them into anxiety and overload with not knowing what egg packaging to pick for their loved ones, friends or family. This can then lead on to different foods, which is the smell, the colour, the taste, the texture of the food. During the Easter holiday period, there tends to be a lot of food, a lot of different people eating different things, a lot of holiday food being put on the table because people like to share foods and support one another. But for a lot of people on the autism spectrum, this is too much. It causes anxiety, meltdowns, it causes panic attacks, it can cause just a complete sensory shutdown. So for me, it can be really overwhelming. Who doesn't like to be around big groups of people? Some things that you can do to help your autistic loved one, friend, family, work colleague, if you are working with someone or have someone in your life that may be autistic or suspected of being autistic, is to provide a visual schedule. So a visual schedule is where you have Monday to Sunday written out on a bit of paper, you put lines down the middle, and every day you write down a little task that you're going to do, where you're going to be going, and you give them that visual schedule laminated or on a bit of paper. You say, okay, this week this is what we're doing, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, every day, so it breaks it down for them visually so they can understand what you're expecting them to do. Number 2, plan ahead of time. So if you are travelling away for the Easter holidays and you are going to be away from your natural habitat, your natural home, your environment, the local area, make sure you take photos or download photos and download videos of where you're going to be staying. So whether that's a hotel, whether that's going away in the airport or going to a friend's and family's house, make sure you download pictures and videos of that property so they know where they're going and why and how long they're going to be there and how long it's going to take them to travel. Because again, that can lead them to being overstimulated, over anxious, and lead to meltdowns, anxiety, panic attacks, etc. because they don't know where they're going and why they have to be out their natural habitat, their natural home environment. So again, this can cause a lot of issues with regards to travel. If you are travelling away this time of year for a holiday or vacation, as the USA and Canada call it, make sure that you do plan ahead of time. So whether you can download visual schedules or whether you can write on a bit of paper or you can do some videos of the airport, or if you're going by coach or if you're going to be driving, take regular travel breaks, because then it breaks up their schedule and stops them being completely stuck in something they don't like. So if you are going on a coach holiday or if you are driving to a place, make sure that you take regular travel breaks, so you can go to a local gas station or you can go to a normal hotel somewhere or a motel and take a break, let them walk around the car park, let them walk around the other fast food outlets that may be available on that travel break. Also, if you are going to be going away, make sure you adjust their visual routines, because if you are going away, they are still going to need that routine, that structure, in order to successfully communicate and make sure that they're comfortable being in a different environment, because it is overwhelming having to be away from home. It can be quite difficult with the smell, the taste of the place. It can be quite difficult with the colours of the place. You know, it can cause really increased anxiety, it can increase their panic attacks, their depressive episodes, so make sure that you are aware of that as well. Also, let them pack their own bag, so if you are staying away for a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, a week, whatever, make sure you let them pack their sensory items, so that can include clothing, fidget aids, sensory tools, things that will help them to keep their anxiety reduced and limited. Because if you are away from home and you've got no choice but to be away from home, make sure that you give them time, space away from them so they can process what they're going to be doing, what they need to pack, how many things they need to pack and why. Make sure that they take their own stuff and that you don't pack it for them, because that leads again to being overstimulated. Also, if they are meeting new people for the first time and you're taking them to a new environment, make sure that the person is either informed about their autism or disability beforehand, or if they are verbal like myself and they're able to communicate for themselves and interact them by themselves, and let them be the person to tell them about their autism or disability. Let them communicate to the person when they're good and ready. It is no good, or it's going to be pointless to let them be forced into communicating, because if you force your autistic person or person with disability into a social scene where they're not comfortable, they are going to shut down, they will withdraw, they will pull away from the social situation, and that can appear as rude, being disrespectful, blunt, stuck up, just naughty, spoiled. And I don't want that to come across like that. So if you are taking your autistic loved one or disabled one away from their home environment, make sure you are aware of how to best support them, because they can be going through a time of sensory overwhelm, anxiety overwhelm, panic, stress, because they're going into a total stranger's environment, so they may not know how to act or how to behave in that situation. Also, if they don't choose to look at you in the face or they don't give you eye contact, please don't discipline them and say, oh, well, you will give me eye contact. Look at me when I'm talking to you. Like, I can do limited eye contact with you now on the camera, but when people say to me, oh, Gemma, what's wrong with you? Just look at me. Look at me when I'm talking to you, Gemma. And it's like, no, because I get so overstimulated and so over anxious about it that it burns my eyes, it burns my head, it actually causes me physical pain to actually look at you when it comes to eye contact. So please don't expect eye contact from the autistic person or person with disability if you are in their environment. Also, do things to limit the sensory overwhelm and anxiety overwhelm. So again, if you've got loud music on, turn it down. If you've got something bright coloured in your room, say like you've got a flag on the wall that's bright coloured and you know full well that's going to overstimulate somebody, take it down. Or if you've got high scented perfumes around or colognes around, get rid of them so then they don't have to smell them. Also, if you do have a bright coloured room, maybe think about moving into a room that's more pastel coloured or neutral coloured. So like, I know this is quite pastel coloured, my wall behind me, so I know it's not going to overstimulate somebody potentially if they were to come around and see me. So they're not going to think, oh, ouch, that's too bright. So, make yourself to do that as well. If you do have a quiet area or a quiet room in your property, or if you're in a hotel and you can let them go into a quiet area or an area that's quieter for them to self-regulate, then please do that. Always pack ear defenders or headphones and fidget aids, because again, you don't know how their anxiety and their sensory overwhelm is going to hit them when they're in a different environment. Prepare their own food and drink. Oh, this is a big one, because when you're overstimulated and you don't know what to do, you don't want no one touching you, you don't want no one touching your food, you don't want no one coming near your food, because again, it's the smell of the person, it's the person put their hands on your food. So again, let us pack our own food and drink if we are going to be travelling. Make sure you give us the videos and pictures ahead of time, so if we are travelling away to somewhere like a motel, hotel, if we're going via an aeroplane for a long trip, then make sure you show us pictures of where we're going and why. Again, make sure that you explain to your family that you have an autistic loved one, disabled loved one who may find it really overwhelming to be out in their natural environment. So again, make sure you provide them with all sensory aid fidgets. Make sure that you have their own bedroom to themselves. Don't put too bright blankets on the bed. Don't give them anything bright that's going to be like, whoa, because again, they will lead into shutdown. Again, using tone of voices, again, that's another big one. When you talk to someone with autism or suspected disability, make sure you use a calm tone, reassuring tone, because again, that can be a real big trigger for people as well. So it's like, oh, it's okay, I understand, like, how can I help you, like, what's the best thing for me to do, and like, give them direct questions. Like, don't ask open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are the worst thing that you can do to an autistic person or a disabled person, because it gives us too much sensory input up here to think about and process. It's like, oh, question. No, give us direct questions, yes, no, answer questions, then we're able to effectively communicate with you. I hope you've enjoyed hearing my tips and tricks, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!